Four corners. Save our Earth. Sharon Stewart. Natural resources affect our lives. Try to imagine what life would be like if all our natural resources were gone. You could not turn on a light because there would be no energy for electricity. You could not have a glass of water to drink because there would be no clean water. A natural resource is something from nature that people use to live. Soil, air, water, and coal are natural resources. There are two kinds of natural resources. Renewable resources can replace themselves over time. Animals, plants, soil, water, and wind are examples. Non-renewable resources cannot be replaced once they are used up. These include coal, oil, and natural gas. We cannot live without natural resources. Therefore, we need to protect them. The paper for this book came from a tree. This painting shows the Industrial Revolution in France in the 1800s. Industry changed the world. In the late 1700s and 1800s, Europe and North America went through a period called the Industrial Revolution. Machines were invented that could make products very quickly. Soon, factories were built in cities. The factories and machines burned fossil fuels, such as coal and oil. The cities grew larger as people moved to them to work in the factories. More and more resources were being used, but no one thought about the effects on the environment. Supplies seemed unlimited, so people thought they would never run out of resources. Amazing fact. Air pollution first became a problem during the 1700s. Natural resources are in danger. Many nations throughout the world now have factories and industries. These nations are called industrialist nations. Their industries use a large amount of the world's resources. People need natural resources for food, shelter, and clothing. Renewable resources are being used faster than they can replace themselves. We are in danger of using up all our resources. World energy use 1860 to 1998. Since the Industrial Revolution, people and businesses have used more and more energy. This rig is drilling for oil, a resource that we must use wisely. This oil spill caused much damage to the environment in the Gulf of Mexico. Using up resources is not the only problem. We don't always use our resources wisely. For example, we waste water when we leave the tap running. We waste the energy from coal or oil when we leave the lights on. Another problem is the harm done to the environment, such as pollution. The need for more oil has led to more oil spills as oil is transported mostly by sea. Oil spills damage the ocean ecosystem. They kill thousands of animals and plants and pollute the water and land. A bird covered in oil is rescued from an oil spill in Alaska. The importance of energy. People will always need energy. We need it to heat or cool our homes. Power plants burn coal and oil to make electricity. Electricity provides the energy to power a refrigerator or an air conditioner. Another reason people need energy is for transport. Oil is used to make petrol, which provides the energy that many vehicles need to make them go. Oil and coal are not renewable resources. We must find new energy sources before our fossil fuels run out. We must also work harder at using less energy. That will make our resources last longer. It will also help to save and protect the environment. Oil refineries produce oil for the world, but they also contribute to pollution. Global warming can cause glaciers to melt and form icebergs. Why global warming is a problem? Burning fossil fuels harms the environment. This is because of the atmosphere's greenhouse effect. Certain gases are naturally trapped in Earth's atmosphere. These gases let in the sun's energy but trap its heat. When gases from burnt fossil fuels get into the atmosphere, more heat is trapped. This changes the climate around the world, an effect which is called global warming. Changes in climate are dangerous because all living creatures and their habitats are affected. Crops may not grow, putting our food supply at risk. The ice caps at the North and South Poles may continue to melt. The sea level will rise, causing flooding and beach erosion. It will also harm plants and animals near the coast. The greenhouse effect. Gases trap heat in Earth's atmosphere the same way that glass traps heat in a greenhouse. This makes Earth just warm enough for people, animals, and plants to live. Air pollution and acid rain. The use of fossil fuels causes air pollution and acid rain. Air pollution can irritate the eyes, nose, and throat. It can also make allergies and asthma worse. Some scientists believe air pollution may cause lung cancer. Gases from burnt fossil fuels can combine with rainwater and oxygen to form acid rain. Acid rain is dangerous because it damages or kills plants and trees. It injures the plant's leaves and roots. Acid rain also pollutes lakes and rivers. This harms some kinds of fish, frogs, and toads. If people eat fish affected by acid rain, they could become sick. Creating acid rain. Burning fossil fuels releases polluting gases into the atmosphere. The gases combine with rainwater. The rain becomes a kind of acid. When it falls, acid rain harms animals and plants. Other energy sources. There are other sources of energy. These resources include the wind and the sun. Modern windmills and solar panels provide renewable, inexpensive, and clean energy. Amazing fact. Wind power was first used to provide electricity in Denmark in the 1890s. By 2008, people on the island of Samsø, Denmark, will obtain 100% of their energy from renewable resources, such as wind from this wind farm. Energy and you. We use natural resources each time we turn on the lights, water, or heat. We can help save our resources by saving energy. Try these energy-saving tips at home. Turn off lights, televisions, and computers when they are not in use. Ask if your home can be kept warmer in summer and cooler in winter if you use air conditioning and heating. Ask if fluorescent bulbs can be used. They use less energy than regular light bulbs. We need water to live. Clean water is one of the most important natural resources on Earth. No living creature can survive without it. Plants would wither and animals would become sick. People need to drink water to stay healthy. We also need water for cooking and washing. Water is needed by farmers and industries. Crops must be irrigated at the right time in order to grow and produce food. Industries need water to make, clean, or transport their goods. Without water, there would be no food, and industries would fail. Amazing fact. You can only live for 3 to 4 days without water. These girls in Burkina Faso, West Africa, rely on water from a pump for survival. Fresh water makes up only a small amount of the water on Earth. Some people might think that water is everywhere. Certainly, more than 70% of Earth is covered with water, but most of that water is salty. People and animals can't drink salty water because it makes us sick. It can't be used to water crops either. Only 3% of Earth's water is fresh water. Fresh water is what we all need to survive. So, we must keep the water clean and use it wisely. You can't sip the sea. This plant makes fresh water from seawater. Scientists use a process called desalination to remove the salt. At the moment, this process is expensive and uses a great deal of energy, but it may become easier and cheaper in the future. Desalination plant in Nevada, USA. This flood in the region of Saxony in 2002 was the worst flood in Germany's history. These girls walk on a dried river bed to obtain water during a drought in India. Global warming and water. Earth's freshwater supply is being harmed by global warming. Some areas are having more rain than usual. This is causing flooding and damaging crops. Other areas are having less rain. Some farmland has already become too dry to grow crops. Global warming makes the oceans warmer. This is a problem for fish and plants that need cool water to survive. These cool water species may die out and the animals that eat the fish and plants may not have enough food to survive. Polluted water. Water can become polluted very easily. Energy sources, such as coal and oil, can affect our water in serious ways. Factories often produce large amounts of waste that can seep into nearby water sources. People, cars, and farms contribute to this problem as well. Water from a sprinkler or a garden hose can wash pesticides, fertilizers, and car fluids into storm drains. Many storm drains empty into local rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans. The contaminated water then pollutes the rivers and lakes. If the pollution is bad enough, it kills the animals and plants that live there. These fish died from pollution in Lake Trafford, Florida, USA. Some storm drains may empty into the ocean. Polluted water in a storm drain will pollute the ocean. This plane is spraying pesticides to protect crops. This can result in farm runoff. Water pollution can also come from farms. Animal waste and pesticides can wash into nearby rivers, streams, and wells. This is called farm runoff. As a result, unhealthy bacteria and harmful chemicals enter the water supply. To protect the water, we need to take care. For example, we can be careful about the chemicals we use on our lawns and how we wash our cars. It's also important that farms and factories find ways to avoid polluting the water supply. Plus, we must begin to use fresh water wisely so that it's not wasted. Everyone needs to work together to save our precious water. Farm runoff caused this algae bloom in Suffolk, England. Water and you. Everyone can learn how to be wise with water. By protecting water and using less of it, you can help the whole world. Here are some water-saving tips. Never throw waste into an ocean, river, lake, or gutter. Turn off the tap while you brush your teeth. Try a quick shower instead of a bath. That could save up to 380 liters of water a week. Tell adults about leaky taps so they can be fixed. Use collected rainwater for house and garden plants. Become involved in a river, stream, or lake cleanup. Scouts help clean up the River Almond in Scotland. Amazing fact. We use nearly 190 liters of water per person every day. Even if it is buried in landfills, garbage can still cause huge problems. Garbage causes huge problems. Household waste is all the garbage we throw away, and we need to produce less of it. Everything we get rid of goes somewhere, so our garbage affects something else in the environment. Garbage can also be dangerous to people's health. It clutters up the land because much of it, such as nappies, plastic, and glass, will not rot away. Some kinds of garbage, such as plastic, can be dangerous to wildlife. Sea turtles may eat plastic bags that float in the water. Pelicans and seals can get tangled up in discarded fishing line. This sea lion was rescued from a fishing net that had been carelessly thrown out. When you put out the garbage, some of it may be buried in landfills. These are giant pits where the garbage is dumped and then covered up. The average person in Australia produces over 2 kilograms of garbage each day. It's no surprise that many landfills are full. Some communities have so much garbage that they have to send it to other places. Space is not the only problem. Some garbage, such as paint or cleaners, contains harmful chemicals. If these chemicals leak into the soil around a landfill, they may enter the local water supply and pollute it. Amazing fact. In Australia, only about 33% of all household garbage becomes landfill. In Australia, children help pick up garbage around their school on Friday school's cleanup day. Garbage pollutes the air. It smells, and also, as it rots, it produces a dangerous gas called methane. Methane is one of the gases that contributes to the greenhouse effect, so methane contributes to global warming. Burning garbage is not a solution either. The smoke from burning garbage can also cause air pollution. Don't waste your energy. Some communities have found ways to handle landfill problems. This power plant in Puente Hills, California, USA, is one example. It uses methane gas from the landfill to produce electricity. At the same time, it keeps the methane out of the air. The second-hand items for sale at this place in Canada can be reused. 3 words to remember in the battle against waste are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce means using less and saving resources. Reuse means finding new uses for some things before throwing them away. You can find out more about the third word, recycle, in the next chapter. It's important that we reduce and reuse resources. If we don't, we may run out of space in landfills. We could also run out of resources to make new products. Waste in you. No one wants to live in a world of garbage. You can help by learning to be wise about waste. Here are some ideas. Reduce. Before you buy something new, ask yourself whether you really need it. Reuse. Use utensils that can be washed and used again, recycle paper napkins and reusable plastic containers for food instead of foil or plastic wrap. Recycle. Don't throw away newspapers, glass, and plastic. Recycle them. Don't litter. Throw garbage into containers, not on the ground. Be a recycler. Reduce, reuse, and recycle are the 3 Rs. Recycle means to reuse materials by turning them into new products. Recycling saves our natural resources. It also reduces the amount of garbage going into landfills. Recycling saves energy. It takes less energy to recycle materials than to produce them. Saving energy means we cause less air pollution, acid rain, and global warming. Together, the 3 Rs are important for everyone to do. If we all reduce, reuse, and recycle, we can help to save our Earth. These are the 3 Rs of a responsible world citizen. Reduce. Reuse. Recycle. We can use aluminum cans for drinking, recycle them, and use the aluminum again. Paper, plastic, and glass. Many communities around the world recycle. It's easy to do. Ask an adult to help you. First, find out which materials are recycled where you live. Paper, glass, and plastic are the most common. Place the different materials in separate containers. Put them out for collection, or take them to the recycling center. It's also important to buy recycled products or those that can be recycled. This tells manufacturers that people care about recycling. Materials that can be recycled are stamped with a symbol. By buying products that can be recycled, we help to reduce the amount of garbage sent to landfills. All these materials can be recycled to make new products. Recycling symbols. These children are involved in a recycling program in New York, USA. Food and garden waste. Nature is a great recycler. Tiny bacteria and fungi break down food wastes, grass clippings, and leaves. Worms and insects help, too. If you have access to an outdoor area, you can make a compost pile. Ask an adult to help you. Put food and garden wastes into the compost container. Don't add meat, oils, or dairy products. Turn the mixture over now and then. In 6 to 8 weeks, you may have rich brown compost, or humus. Humus is good for renewing the soil. It helps plants to grow, and it keeps wastes that can be recycled out of our landfills. You can throw vegetable scraps or moldy vegetables onto a compost pile. This red capsicum develops mold on it from the air. In 2 weeks it goes from red to rotten. Amazing fact. In a landfill, a banana peel could take 6 months to a year to break down. Recycling and you. Recycling saves energy and resources. It is a great way to help the earth. Encourage your family to start a recycling plan. Here are things you can do to get going. Buy products that can be recycled or that are made of recycled materials. Separate recyclables by type, such as paper, glass, and plastic. Help take recyclables to the curb for collection or go to the recycling center. Carry fruit and vegetable waste to the compost pile. Remember to turn the pile from time to time. Your community's recycling center might have recycling containers like these in London, England. We need to protect nature. Nobody knows exactly how many species of plants and animals are becoming extinct right now. However, we do know that many thousands are at risk. North America's black-footed ferret and Canada's burrowing owl are endangered. So are Europe's monk seal, China's giant panda, and Australia's bilby. Thousands of other animal and plant species around the world are also in trouble. Many species are threatened by loss of habitat. Pollution also harms wildlife and their food supply. Other animals are threatened by illegal hunting. If we don't take steps to protect nature, more animals will disappear forever. Giant panda. Raja Brooks birdwing butterfly. This page shows just a few of the endangered animals and plants on Earth. South American slipper orchid. Everything in nature is connected. Earth and all forms of life on it are helped by biodiversity. High biodiversity means that many different living things share the same living space. The relationships between the different creatures are important. These relationships form a connection like a web. If one part of the web is broken or dies out, every other part of the web is harmed. The important ant bird. Losing a species of animal could affect a whole ecosystem. Antbirds live in the rainforest in South America. They eat insects. If the antbirds disappeared, there would be too many insects. The insects would then destroy some of the plants in the rainforest. The plants produce oxygen, which humans need to breathe. A food web shows how animals and plants depend on each other for food. Forests are a good example of ecosystems that support biodiversity. Many different plants and animals find food and shelter in forests. Likewise, plants and animals provide food for the trees. If a forest is damaged or destroyed, all the animals and plants that live there will be harmed in some way. They might need to find a new forest to live in. If they can't, they and the plants and animals that depend on them might die out. Nature and you. Today, whole ecosystems are at risk. People can make choices that will help protect nature. Here are some ways you can help. Try to eat organic foods. Organic foods are raised without harmful chemicals. Find out which products endanger species or their habitats. Try not to use them. Encourage people to buy local produce. This reduces pollution caused by transporting foods from far away. Amazing fact. More than 12,000 types of animals and plants in the world are endangered. Saving the world. People need natural resources to live, therefore, we must use them wisely. Imagine a world where the air is dirty. The trees have all been cut down. The water is polluted. The soil is dry and bare. No one would want a world like that. Our natural resources are fast disappearing. We have already destroyed half of the world's forests. If we continue using oil so quickly, some scientists say we won't have enough for everyone by 2020. By 2025, 3 billion people may not have clean water. It sounds serious, doesn't it? It is, but you can make a difference. It's never too late to take action. Just get started now. Earth Summit. In 2002, many nations attended a meeting in Johannesburg, South Africa. It was called an Earth Summit. Many children contributed posters about saving and protecting our resources. This poster is called Destiny Waits. It was drawn by an Armenian girl named Melania Hamasyan. Destiny waits. Plant a tree. Help save our Earth. You can make a difference. Remember the 3 rupees. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. Spread the word. Encourage your friends to use resources wisely. Be active. Work with your friends to start a project to help the environment. Write about it. Write to newspapers and your local government about natural resource issues. Pass it on. Lend, borrow, swap, donate, and hold garage sales. Find a cause. Help groups that work to save wildlife and the environment. Make it a career. Think about choosing a job that will help you save ecosystems. Enjoy. Nobody ever said saving resources couldn't be fun. Glossary. Acid rain. Rain that contains acids, which is formed when air pollutants mix with water vapor. Biodiversity. The variety of living things on Earth or within a region. Ecosystem. All the living and non-living things in an environment and how they interact. Energy. Power obtained from natural resources. Fossil fuels. Fuels formed over many years from plant and animal remains. Fresh water. Water that is not salty and can be used for drinking and farming. Global warming. An increase in Earth's temperature. Habitats. The environments in which plants or animals live. Irrigated. Supplied with water from hoses, pipes, or ditches. Pesticides. Substances that kill or keep away pests or insects. Plant. A group of buildings and equipment for a particular industry. Pollution. Harmful substances that dirty the air, water, or soil.